You're not gonna make it. No, you ain't gonna make it. You're not gonna make it, but you can. Welcome to You're Not Gonna Make It, the show where I discuss threats that may prevent you from making it. I'm Kevin. Here we are at episode 55, and the topic is Cardio Bunnies, which I thought only referred to women who only use the treadmill at the gym, but apparently it applies to anyone who prefers cardio and never does anything in terms of resistance training. So there's that. I was going to say the topic is sweat addiction, but I think Cardio Bunnies is more amusing, so there we go. And it's pretty much what I said. It's those people, mostly women, but it could be anyone, who goes to the gym, just spends all their time on the ellipticals, the treadmills, stair climbers, then they leave. And that's not just their cardio day or whatever. That's just what they do. Now, if they're runners or something like that, trying to build endurance, whatever it is, that can be okay. Steady state cardio is pretty nice. But the issue is most of these people, as most people do, they have the goal of actually losing weight. That's why they're spending so much damn time sweating. I got to tell you, there's some problems with this plan. Now, I'm going to group in people who are addicted to sweat into this group of cardio bunnies. I'm talking not only just the people who spend all their gym time on the treadmill, but the people who come into the gym, do a group fitness class that's a bunch of clown shit, and then leave, and that's it. To me, these people are the same. They think that sweating will lose you weight. Got some bad news for you, buddy. Sweating is how your body cools itself off. That's pretty much the only purpose. Do you know how you actually lose weight? Most people don't know this, but you don't lose weight through sweating a bunch. Otherwise, people who go to the sauna all the time would be thin and lean as hell. The way you actually lose weight, well, process-wise is by having your body be at a caloric deficit. But the actual way that your body loses the extra mass is through your breath. It comes out as carbon dioxide as you breathe. Point is, the extra weight comes off via air, not through liquid. Which means if you sweat your ass off, that just means you're going to need to drink more water. You're not going to lose a bunch of more weight doing that. But that's what a lot of people think. You go exercise, you sweat, you lose weight that way. That's it. Now, cardio is good and sweating is good for your cardiovascular health. So your heart likes that stuff. It likes being challenged reasonably. And doing that stuff can burn you some calories. Although I will say cardio does not burn as many calories as you think it does. If you work really, really hard in a session, you might lose a couple hundred calories. If you run a marathon, obviously you're going to burn a shit ton of calories too. But in the average cardio session, honestly, it's a couple hundred at most, which means a donut could wipe that out. So if you're thinking about weight loss, maybe just don't have the donut and you can accomplish the same math. Do cardio, but do it for your heart and your lungs, not to brute force the weight loss process. It's not going to work. And the issue with the people who only want to sweat by doing a bunch of cardio or doing these group fitness classes or doing all this stupid shit jumping around is that if there's no resistance in your training whatsoever, over time, if you add in cardio and change nothing else, obviously the added activity will you'll burn calories, you'll slowly lose weight over time. But the thing is, if there's no resistance as well, you'll also slowly lose muscle and strength over time too. Actually, you'll probably lose that faster because if you're only doing cardio, you're not training your muscles at all. So if you're not building, you're only slowly tearing down, then that'll happen faster. Whoops. The people who fall for this most, as I mentioned before, it's going to be women, the cardio bunnies themselves. And this is, of course, due to marketing yet again. The fitness industry, they tell women, hey, weights are for men. You don't want to be a fucking man, do you? Get on the treadmill, do this class, get on the fucking Soul Cycle. That's for women. That's correct. Don't mind the fact that doing resistance training will make you look exactly how you want to look. Get on that fucking exercise bike. Sweat your ass off. Literally. You're not building muscle on that ass. And also, beginners, they fall for this too. They're just starting out. Oftentimes, if they're not under the brainwashing that bodybuilding is king, they might be tempted to take another route because they're kind of intimidated with exercise. So they do stuff that requires no weights whatsoever, but they're not sure about what to do by themselves. You put them out in a mat, they're like, I don't know. So if they're not going to touch weights, they don't know what to do by themselves, then a machine would help. And what fits those criteria? Treadmill, stair climber, whatever it is. And guess what? I was one of these people. I lost 100 pounds overall, and the absolute beginning of my journey was walking, which I found out quickly was not enough. But after that, the first thing I did was use an elliptical, because we had an elliptical in our home for some reason. Even though the apartment was not that big, I don't know why we had that, but I was very thankful we had it because I used that to start me off. And I did lose some weight with that slowly because I brute forced my way into it. But nowadays I know weight control is accomplished in much more effective ways. But I was a beginner and I fell for it. Now let's play devil's advocate. Cardio is the best workout for fat loss and health. Nothing else is necessary. I wouldn't say that. I will say though, if overall you live a pretty healthy lifestyle, let's say you live in, I don't know, Japan or something. Let's go back to Japan, but they eat pretty well over there, eat pretty decent. They bike over there, they walk. And you know what? They live a long time. So this one is not way off the mark, but I will say if you ignore resistance training, you're going to have a lot of risk later on in terms of being brittle, not being able to support yourself, needing a walker, wheelchair maybe. So by all means, do you want to add in cardio and walking and stuff like that? That will help your health quite a bit. But for weight loss, it's more about calorie control. Next devil. Lifting weights makes women bulky. Cardio keeps you lean. I'm tired of hearing this because I've heard this in real life plenty of times. Lifting weights cannot make women bulky unless they take steroids. Women do not have enough fucking testosterone to become bulky. Depends what your definition of bulky is, I suppose. But most women that are inspirational to other women are pretty much what would be the realistic expectation of the bulkiness to expect with resistance training and lifting. As in, everyone's fine with it. And it's probably the exact body type and physique that women want. So, yeah, you're not going to get, you can't accidentally get bulky. I wish people would get the fuck off of that, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. As for cardio keeping you lean, I mean, you can have a small part, but that's going to be mostly your food intake that's going to control your body fat percentage. More cardio equals faster weight loss. Lifting is only for bodybuilders. Wow, that's basically what I just said at the beginning. More cardio, faster weight loss. Technically, if you're doing everything you need to, let's say you're at a caloric deficit, whatever, like you're doing well with your weight loss, and then you literally just add cardio. Yeah, it'll speed it up. Not by much, but it will speed it up. Sure. Lifting is only for bodybuilders, though. That's fucking stupid. I don't know what to tell you. I see there are people who lift like 5-pound dumbbells. They're not bodybuilders. That's lifting too. So that's wrong, right on his face. Why lift weights if you just want a smaller body? Because how big and small your body is determined by the food that you're eating. Lifting weights determines the shape, the form and function of your body. Not necessarily bigger. If you're eating a lot and you start lifting, you're probably going to look big. But for a smaller body, you eat fewer calories, you're going to get smaller anyway. The weights are not going to make you bigger if you're at a big caloric deficit. That's not how mass works. Anyway, let's get into some numbers. As I mentioned before, I use a robot. I use AI to help gather some stats and research when I do these things. And I ignore about half of it because it's not relevant or dumb. For this one, I don't know why they pulled out half the stats here about fucking heart attacks. I don't know if it's going to be relevant, so I'm going to skip that shit. The stats actually suck ass this week. The relevant ones don't even have numbers attached to them. So, whoops, maybe no numbers. Yeah, I'm gonna disregard this shit this episode. Sorry, everything is kind of like a restatement of what I've been saying, because I don't even check the stats until I get to them. So, oftentimes I kind of mention that already, based on what I already know. But yeah, essentially, cardio is decent, but don't expect it to be your weight loss magic ticket. A lot of people do this and go hardcore with that and expect the sweat to be the weight loss. But here is the thing. You don't have to sweat to lose weight. You don't have to sweat to exercise. Now, if it's pretty challenging, you probably will, but you don't need to. If you finish a workout and you don't sweat whatsoever, I mean, at that point, maybe consider making it a little bit more challenging. But if you don't sweat at all, that doesn't mean you didn't accomplish something. It doesn't mean that it wasn't effective for you. You do not need to sweat your soul out to accomplish exercise or weight loss. That's not what cardio needs to be. It doesn't need to be a torture session where you sweat until you love yourself again. Sweat and cardio have their place, but they don't necessarily have to go hand in hand, and they definitely don't have to go hand in hand with weight loss. Oftentimes, this can all be very separate because you can walk all day, not sweat, and has good cardio. You can lift, not sweat, and it's great exercise. You can not do cardio and not sweat, just do something totally resistance training and help a bit more towards your weight loss because the extra muscle will require your body to burn more calories at rest. So they don't have to be connected, really. It's the sweating, the cardio, the weight loss, all this stuff. Everyone thinks that they are all intrinsically tied together. They need to exist at the same time to be possible. No, that's not the case. So here's my recommendation for you. If you're a cardio bunny, I'd recommend maybe you do one of your workouts for the week. Maybe that can just be cardio only. Maybe half of that workout can be cardio only. Maybe you can do a bit of cardio at the end, at the beginning. What I'm saying is have it be a part of your exercise, not the only thing you do for exercise. Unless you're one of those people who's like, I don't give a shit about muscle, whatever. I'm just going to walk a bunch. That's fair as well, I guess. You might be requiring a walker in the future, but walk until then if you want. But don't panic if you don't sweat, all right? Get in resistance training in your exercise. If you really want that sweat for funsies, you can do that, but don't make it the only thing you do for exercise. It's not going to be as helpful as you think it is. Think about balance, right? For me right now, I do 2 days of resistance training and then 1 day of cardio. Sometimes it's swimming, sometimes it's elliptical, sometimes jogging, whatever it is. Basically, whatever your cardio is, reduce that a bit. If it's all you do, reduce it a bit, then add some resistance training, and then you're pretty much good. Just go for that. And also, if your cardio sucks ass and you hate it because you feel like dying afterwards, maybe change it. You don't have to want to die after cardio. Have some balance in your life, please. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. Oh my God, he said the thing. Let me know how often you do cardio. I do once a week. Maybe it should be a bit more, but I just do one big batch or one big session and then just be done with it. Should probably be more frequent, but whatever. I got time for that. So anyway, drop that in the comments. I'll see you next time.